Shalom, welcome to Erev Israel. It's Erev Shabbat Chodesh. I'm Avraham Shira, and we have this amazing idea that the Zohar teaches us that the dew of the revival of the dead, listen closely, the dew that revives the dead, now whatever that dew is and however it's going to happen, let's not go into too many details. This dew is the life force, the food of the souls in the world to come. Interesting connection. You have souls that leave their body, they leave this world, they leave their body. If they're refined enough, they've done the work, they pay the dues, they get to go to heaven, and they go to yeshivot, they go to different places. Depending, again, the rule is the holier you are, the more latitude you have in heaven. Latitude meaning the ability to travel backwards and forwards in time and space, and to visit people and do good things. The biggest tzaddikim still have a presence here in this world. Gadol tzaddikim mitatam yoter mechayehim, right? They're greater in the world to come than they are in this world. Okay, so they go to the world to come. They pick a yeshiva. They sit down to learn. They don't eat and drink in heaven. They don't go to sleep. There's no sleeping when you don't have a body. There's no eating and drinking when you don't have a body. But you still need life force. This life force is called the Tal Techiyah, the dew of the revival of the dead. Now, understand, how do you eat the dew of the revival of the dead? How does your soul receive that food? Through the eyes. The nourishment of the soul in the world to come is through the eyes. The eye is like a little mouth to consume nourishment. But we're talking about an extremely refined nourishment. And that's the nourishment of the souls in the world to come. And it's also the food that's going to be brought down into this world, into what's called in Kabbalah the Havle de Garme, which is the piece of your soul that stays with your skeleton until the world to come. A part of you the big part of you, your mind, your heart, your soul, that goes up above the grave and into the world to come. But a part of you, the Havle de Garme, which is literally the vapor of your bones, if you want to be specific, that stays with the skeleton until the revival. When the revival comes, that's that dew of forever, the dew of the revival of the dead, attaches to that portion of the soul that's still with the skeleton, and a person is brought back to life. Now, I don't think it's going to look quite Hollywood like the old-time movies, the black and white movie of the Night of the Living. Well, no, not there. Don't go to Hollywood for your information. Go to the Kabbalah. And in the Kabbalah, what's going to happen is that soul that's left here, the Havle de Garme, is going to be reunited with that power called the dew of revivification. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. We probably won't use that one again in another 20 years. Revivification of the soul in a spiritual body. Okay, it's not going to be the same body that we have now. Otherwise, humanity has not advanced. The evolution has not gone further. Spiritual, metaphysical, holy evolution has not gone further if we just come back to the same thing and we're just nicer people and we get along better. That's not the world to come, folks. It's a complete transformation. But that power is still evident and existent in creation now in the world to come. And it's reviving. It's every moment the souls are revived as they sit in heaven. And that substance is received through the eyes. So, when I first learned this, I said, wait a minute, now I understand why it says that a person who looks at a beautiful person and gets pleasure from looking at a beautiful person, if he does it the wrong way, with lust, if he does it without praising the greatness of God, then it takes away from his world to come, because the pleasure of one of God's most beautiful structures, a human being, that pleasure is drawn from the world to come. The spiritual emanation of a person is their ultimate true beauty. And if you gaze upon someone's physical beauty, you're taking away a little bit from the world to come of that soul, and you're getting pleasure from it. And the rabbis say, no, 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 don't look, because you're taking from the world to come early. You're getting your pleasure too soon. Now that sounds pretty strict. But listen, the Zohar is a strict book because we're talking about the laws of the soul in the body. We're not talking about simple laws about, don't speak Lashon Hara and don't turn on the lights on Shabbat and all the other things that we try not to do. These are the laws of how the soul and the body move with each other, against each other, into the future, backwards in the past, how the soul relates to the body. Because the body is just a little carriage for the soul for the short time we're here. So we want to guard our eyes, and the month of Tammuz, we just came out of the month of Tammuz. It's Rosh Chodesh Av, Chodesh Tov, to everyone. Well, the repair of the month of Av is the right eye. Okay? And so, because each part of the body is repaired by a different month of the year, if you learn about the celestial calendar, you'll see that each part of the body has a different month where it shines. The power of that organ shines. Okay, so this month that we're going into tonight, well, we're actually in there today, is the fixing of the eye. And so the eye is this vehicle that we need to fix, and it's the vehicle that we receive life force in the world to come. So the more I fix it now, the further I can see into creation. The further you can see into your own life, into your own soul, into the world around you as well. And what you're seeing into the world to come, of course, what do we know? Shabbat is me'ein olam haba. Shabbat itself is a little piece of the world to come that's migrated down here for this 7-day period. And the next 7-day period, we'll have another piece of Shabbat will migrate down. And we'll draw a life force from each Shabbat. But the Shabbat is coming from that same place, the world to come. And it's getting also, it is part of, with the transmission of that Tal Techiyah, the dew of the revival of the dead. What I call it the dew of forever, because when nothing dies, that's called forever, right? And so, when you see how these concepts all fit together into the structure of the laws of the Torah about guarding our eyes, especially in a generation like ours, a generation of where media and technology of media has gone to new levels that have never been imagined before. They can take pictures of deep space and send them all the way back to, to your TV screen. The technology has gone way beyond our physical capacity, but it's actually resembling our spiritual capacity. The spiritual sight, the depth into creation. It says that Adam, the first man, that Jacob, our father, and that Mashiach will be able to see from the beginning to the end of time. In other words, all the lenses are open. See, because the Rabbi Menachem teaches us that Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration, depends on how far you can see into the spiritual. So some people can see a day into the future, 2 days into the future. Some people can see 5 minutes into the future. And some people can see 500 years into the future or into the past. So your vision, your spiritual vision, depends on that purity of your eye, and you're connecting to the eyes of heaven, obviously, because the eyes of heaven have no boundary. They see everywhere. So the further you can see, the more refined and the more attached you are to the ultimate one who sees and knows, the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And that's the one we're after, and that's the one we're serving, and that's the one we want to stay attached to. And no matter how much we fall, he's there for us to get up again and again and again and again, and we're never giving up. We're not giving up, folks. There's no such thing as giving up. It just means there's only one thing, trying again and again and again. And all of a sudden, one day, the blessing comes. and you receive a new level, a gift. And it might be the gift of the eyes, seeing the spiritual, seeing the physical, seeing the bond of the two, seeing into the future, seeing into the past, and most importantly, seeing the truth of now. So Shabbat is coming, and the truth of now is I got to go. But God bless you with a great Shabbat, a great week, a great month. Av is a very difficult month for the first 10 days, but afterwards, things start to lighten up and get better, and Tu B'Av comes, which is like a Jewish international dating day, right? And then we work our way towards Elul, the month of Tshuva, and of course the great month of Tishrei, and the 8th month, the 8th year, which is the year after the Shemitah, which is this year, will be the 8th year, the year after Shemitah. The Talmud tells us that this will be the year of the coming of the Messiah. No matter, there's been a lot of 8th years, believe me. But, we have another shot this year, this time around, this Rosh Hashanah. So, we don't worry about what wasn't. We're interested in what will be. God bless you all. Have a great Shabbat. We'll see you next week on all the platforms.